Hi Pisces, this is Ashuna's Tarot. I went ahead and meditated on the energy and connected with spirits on the message being channeled through. And this was actually really interesting. I wasn't picking it up like this in the beginning until I started asking the right questions. At first sight, this looked like something completely different. And so I did get confirmation on this. And so the message being channeled through about the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, it's like you've had to really embody this very single, not that you are necessarily single, for some of you, yes, but like this very independent and self-sufficient energy. Like you've really had to focus on yourself and hone in on your needs and kind of like owning up to your own creations, owning up into your own life, and just taking authority over your manifestations. But on a deeper level, it just talks more so about like investing into yourself, self-sufficiency. And on another note, I did get the message that the connections around you were maybe not very conducive or supportive of you, that you had to become, in a sense, like hyper independent. And saying the word hyper can make it seem like more intense, but what I mean by this is like self-sufficiency. Like you've really had to meet your own needs. Like you've really had to become all these different aspects of yourself, to make sure that things get done, to make sure that things get accomplished. Like you've really had to meet your own needs and really play different roles in your own life. Because a lot of the connections in your life were not supportive, and they were not really even at the level where they could give you what you could already give yourself, if that makes sense. And it's not to say that it's a really tricky message to get out if I'm not careful in the way that I word it, because it's not necessarily a bad thing, because this has helped you become an upgraded version of yourself. Like it's placed a lot of your skills and abilities and things that you might have not even known that you were good at. Like you really had to pick up the pace and learn quick and adapt and improvise and become all kinds of different roles in your life to meet your needs and to move forward with this transition and to access this energy of independence and abundance. Like you really have wanted to make sure that other people's actions don't affect your well-being. They don't affect your stability, whether directly or indirectly. Like you haven't wanted other people's actions or their decisions to affect your abundance or to affect your well-being or your sense of self. So you've been really cultivating the self-love. You've been really cultivating your self-sufficiency. You've been really investing into yourself and into this energy of just being good on your own. Whether you're in a relationship or not, like just being good and happy within yourself and about your achievements and how far you've come. And so yes, I understand why you would develop this energy. You know, if in the past connections failed you, or they just didn't meet the needs, or they just were nowhere near what you imagined or expected or wanted, or the standards for what you can offer somebody else, like they couldn't even do half of that. And it's not to say that it's good or bad, but just maybe that they just don't meet your needs, you know? Or maybe connections that were not very supportive, and it's like you had to kind of become that for yourself. And so I see the journey, you know? The fact that it's in the reverse, the only thing that it's telling me right now as I'm connecting to this energy is that yes, you've been on this like solo energy and you've become very self-sufficient and independent and kind of like learned your own value and just began to invest into yourself. It's like here, you're having to pick the fruits yourself, right? You have no issue. You're actually even finding happiness within that process of gaining the things that you want and manifesting them. This is a happy card. It's a good card. You know, you find happiness in the progress, in the daily success, in getting the tangible results. It's like you have learned to love the process because now you know how to gain that kind of result or that kind of manifestation in your life. But what this being in the reverse is telling me, like specifically in this moment, is that whether you have realized it or not, and this is the Tower moment, it's actually a good thing. Like, this Tower moment is actually a good thing. It's a Tower moment that is gonna help you realize that that cycle where connections were not satisfying you or meeting your needs or were supportive of you and the things that you wanted for yourself is like, it's finally come to an end. And that's what the Tower moment is here to shine light on. It's in the reverse because maybe you haven't realized this, because in the past this worked for you very well. It's how you've reached the levels that you've reached. Like, you made it work for you. But the Tower moment coming in the world in the reverse is like having some kind of realization that yes, you've had to become that person for yourself to meet your needs and to get the things that you want for yourself and the standards of your life and the things that you accomplish and see for yourself. But this cycle being over is showing me with the Six of Pentacles that you don't have to work so hard now, okay? There are going to be people in your life now that are willing to just drop the pentacles into your hand, all right? And you're receiving them. Your hand is out, okay? You're receiving. They're dropping it into your hand and you're receiving it. Here, you're having to reach up and pick for it. Again, it looks like you enjoy it, like you've learned to really enjoy this process. But what this is telling me here is that you really don't have to do that much work anymore. You can literally just receive it because you've put in so much work in the past that now if you allow yourself to be in the receiving mode, in the place of gratitude and abundance and prosperity, people are just going to drop these pentacles into your hands. Opportunities, abundance, prosperity, the universe is going to really just return a lot of your investment back into your hands. So if in the past it was so hard that you had to become this person that is so self-sufficient, the Tower moment is actually a good thing because it's going to help you realize that this has worked for you in the past, but that cycle has ended and it doesn't have to be that hard. Like, there can be reciprocity. There can be an equal give and take. Opportunities can literally fall on your lap if you allow them to. But it talks a lot about being in tune with the energy of balance, of prosperity, of abundance, of allowing, but more so receiving. Okay? So you've been so used to picking and reaching out and grabbing, and you've learned to enjoy it, but now you could literally just receive in a very effortless way. From even new connections that come into your life, whether this is a significant other or people that you work with. It just shows a lot of reciprocity in your new connections. But again, just a little bit of, I would say, like more so like a warning with this card is like that sense of self-sufficiency, because you've been so used to doing it alone, can also kind of get in the way of this energy. Okay, so let things flow. Don't be so quick to take action or to kind of like do stuff for others. Like, just kind of like sit back right now and allow people to give to you, and just kind of like take a pause. Like, if something comes up in a conversation where you're so quick to offer help or you're so quick to do something for others, just kind of like pause for a second and see if anybody offers to do it for you. Or pause for a second and see what offers come through, because sometimes if we're too much in this like hyper independent or like self-sufficient energy, it's like sometimes we can kind of block that equal give and take, because it kind of shows the universe like, hey, I got it myself, I don't need it. But if the universe is just handing it to you, it's like, might as well allow yourself to receive, because you've done the work and you've arrived at this place where things can be reciprocated for you. And you're going to realize that with this Tower moment. So again, it's a good Tower moment that cycle where you had to be so hyper independent and self-sufficient is coming to an end, to where now things can balance out in your life and it can be an equal give and take. So very beautiful energy. It just shows a lot of progress in your evolution. So with that being said, Pisces, this is all I have for this reading. Take care.